Hi, today we're going to do 2 demonstrations, and you're going to have 2 art challenges, exploration challenges that you get to pick from. And you get to pick based on which one seems like it is the right challenge for you today, okay?
I'm not following.
I'm not telling you what they are yet, so how would you know? But before that, we're all going to listen to some information. Do you remember last week? What was the method that we learned for drawing last week?
Shading?
What? Shading. We started with our blue pencil, right? We started with a blue pencil. We all have.
I remember shading.
What part of our pencil did we draw with first?
Side.
The side, not the point, right? So we called that sketching. And then after we did that, what did we do after that?
We colored it in.
We colored it in with our brown pencil. We made it more specific. For those of you who are big kids and who like lists and rules, I've done this especially for some of my students who like these things. You may have a big one or a little one, and you can tape it into or glue it into your book.
Step up and
Here, let's show you some of the big ones.
Me?
Do you guys want big ones or little ones?
I want a big one.
All right, I was kind of thinking big ones for the big kids, or for the kids, and little ones for parents. All right.
I'm a big kid.
This
Thank
is,
you.
you don't have to learn all this today. This is not all today. This is where we're going, and this is the plan. The very first thing you do when you draw, look at your thing and tell me, what is the very first thing you have to do when you draw?
What?
you gotta look.
Look, what are you looking for?
Shapes and structure.
Right? Shapes and structure. You're looking for what the thing looks like. If I don't know what something looks like,
If I was trying to make a stop sign,
You-
I need to look at shape.
yes. So there are 2 ways that people think about, there's probably an infinite ways, but there's 2 main ways that people think about drawing. One is to think about what shapes they have, that they see in front of them. So if I'm looking at Matthew, can I use you? If I'm looking at Matthew and I want to draw Matthew, I'm going to first look at him and I'm going to think, what shapes do I see? On a person, there's this shape. What kind of shape is this?
Roundish.
It's kind of roundish, right? And what kind of shape is his body?
Squarish.
Squarish or kind of like a line?
Rectangle.
Not so much like a triangle. We're looking at shapes. So shapes, we're going to talk about in a minute. The other thing we can do is we can think about structure, which is what is in fact going on. So if I look at Matthew and I think, okay, Matthew has a head. Matthew has a body. He has arms. He has legs. So that would be like if I just thought in structure about a person, I would draw a stick figure. I'd draw a head and a body and some arms and some legs, right? If I think about shapes, I might just draw a circle and a rectangle and ovals, right? When we draw, we do both things. We think about the shapes and we think about the structure. We'll talk about more of those different things as we go on.
If I were looking
You're looking for shapes and you're looking for structure. That's on this little piece of paper to help you remember. I should get a bigger one. Then after you've looked, then you sketch. And our suggestion is to sketch it in blue. After you sketch it, the next thing you're gonna do, because the blue, when you finish with the blue and you don't like the lines there, they fade into the sky, especially when you're doing nature drawing. The blue fades out better than anything else that this author has found. The sketch Matthew, and I sketch him to look like this. What's
Oh my
wrong
God.
with my Matthew?
The arms are so big.
Yeah.
All right.
The arms
the
are so
body's so
skinny.
tiny.
Well, what if I did Matthew like he's got the right structure, right? He's got a body and arms and legs and feet, but they're wrong. What if I made him with like more accurate shapes? And I gave him like pants here,
Yeah. You bet he didn't have
and
pants.
I gave him feet.
That's like so
I
cartoony.
don't know
I love
how
it.
you're doing
Right.
it, but you're a great drawer.
And I'm even doing these upside down and backwards. And then I gave him hands.
Oh my
Alright.
gosh, that's epic.
So his hands his shapes are better, right? But what's still wrong?
The proportions.
The proportions.
That's awesome. I think that's awesome.
So sometimes we change proportions on purpose
for like cartoon.
for cartoony, but if we want our picture to look right, if we want it to look accurate, we want to check that the proportions are right. So my little check that the proportions, for those of you who are going to be thinking about this, the P is really big and the word proportion is really small. They don't match. I should check my proportion. And then we're going to hear the thing, fix the frame. After you've done your blue sketch, that's the point you look and go, something's wrong with those arms. I should fix that, because when it's in the blue, you can't. And then before you put in the brown, you can fix it.
Mommy?
Yeah?
I just have to say you're missing one thing.
I totally missed his face. There you go.
And the nose.
Oh, yes.
So if this had been drawn
Badly proportioned.
lightly in
It's a
blue,
point.
I could come back in here and I could fix his proportions and fix the frame. Okay? Before I put in bolder in brown. That's that thing we did last week. We put brown lines in bolder to clarify this is where I want to put my picture. Exactly. Does that make sense?
Actually, I didn't.
Then, once we have that,
There we go.
which I didn't actually draw, let's say I've got a person, and I put him in. Now I'm going to clarify quite just where I want him. I want him here. All right, this is still a very sketchy person. This is still a very sketchy person. But at this point, this is where I can put in shadows. And we use purple for our shadows, right? We use dark purple for the dark colors and light purple for the light colors. I can put in shadows to try to start making it pop out. This is never going to be very good because
It's not supposed to be right now.
it's not supposed to be right now. I can also go back over it with a color at this point and say I want to give him a red shirt. After I have the frame all figured out of where I want him, that's when I put the color
That's a
in.
bad shirt.
It's a bad shirt.
I mean, it's what I would do.
I can see blue. The blue's sticking out.
The blue is sticking out.
Because it's red.
It's because it's red. I also used this blue instead of this light blue. This light blue. When you use this this pencil, you see how you don't see that at all, right? I intentionally used the dark blue.
So that you
This
can see
one
it.
goes away.
Yeah. That
What?
blue. That one you can't see.
Yeah, so that's why you're all getting one of these. I used the dark blue so that you actually could see it on the video and in front of you here. You also, this is where we add highlights. So this one, shadows, color, highlights. This is once you've got your drawing kind of figured out, then you go and put the pretty fun stuff in.
Add details.
Add details. What are details?
Like,
Little things.
Little things.
Like the eyes, nose, and mouth.
Like we put the face on last,
yeah,
right?
they're my details.
All right, now here's this
My
last one. This is very important. My art, Alan Lowell in college taught me this one. It's also in the book. This is very important. What does it say?
Stop.
Stop. What does the rest of it say?
It's good to be done.
Oh, that is not what it says. No, that is true. All right, read it for me again.
It's good to. It's good.
Y'all watch
Let
for
it
ticks
be
out
done.
here.
Let it be done. It's good. Let it be done. What?
Watch for ticks.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you just got one?
So
Baby one.
it's important. Everybody, I know. It's important. Why is it important to know when to stop?
Because to listen and pay attention.
You're paying attention. You're right. You're paying attention. What are you paying attention to?
How good it is. To you.
To your work. Is my picture here done?
No.
Doesn't look really done yet.
No.
But I don't think I have a good picture in here.
Yeah.
I do.
did a one that line.
But
And stop means
I've got
in
Coleman's
several
sketchbook here
ways.
from several years ago.
One to listen, one to pay attention.
And my
Oh,
drawings are so
here, here's
great.
Eleanor's picture. So Eleanor did this really cool drawing last week,
I want to see.
right? She decided it was done. Why did you decide it was done here?
Because I had nothing else I could draw in it.
Okay, she had nothing else she could draw. What if she sat here and said, you know, it's not as good as it could be. I'd like it to be more perfect. And she fussed and she fussed and she put more green on it and more green on it and more brown on it and more brown on it. Has anybody ever ruined a picture by working on it too hard?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, many times. And
Yeah.
Legos. And Lots of stuff.
Yes, sometimes you have to be able to look at your work and say, I've put everything on there that I need to put on there. It's good. I'm going to leave it be. That is good.
But I got
Like
bored,
God
so I did
said,
another one.
it's creation. It was good, and He let it be. Even though it might not have been everything it could have been at all times. He let it be. So we have to let it be so we don't mess it up.
Let it be.
All right, real quick, read these for me again. What do you do first?
I know.
You
You eat.
Look.
Look. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you weren't looking.
Oh,
Look.
yeah.
All right, what do you do next?
That's what I said.
For shapes.
What?
Shape.
Yeah, you look for shapes or structure, right?
Sure. Then sketch in blue.
Hang on, go with me, sketch. Then you do what? Then what are we checking for?
Proportion.
I'm checking for funny arms here, guys. Funny arms, funny legs, funny things.
Funny feet.
And you fix it if you see it. Then you're gonna build it in brown. Then you add all the shadow and the color and the white. Then you add the little details, then you stop. Now, do we always work that way all the time?
No.
No, that's fine. But this is to give structure to people who like it. And I know I have some friends who like structure. Then, now we're gonna talk about shapes.
Mama.
Everybody take one of these. Some of you have seen these before.
Mommy.
Yeah?
I
Thank you. Where'd the big one go? Oh, it's in this book, I think.
No, here's the big one.
Okay.
It's dripping wet. I know.
This comes from the book Drawing with Kids. This is not my own idea.
Would you hand me two?
Mackenzie. Is that still going?
It is. Sorry.
Okay. This one comes from Drawing with Kids. It's not my own idea. We've used it here before. This is actually not even exactly how I think about drawings, but I'm going to trust that this author knows more than I do about teaching kids because she did it for a long time. So this is a way of looking for shapes. Now, we don't call, this isn't every shape that exists, is it? Look at this pictures.
No.
No. She's thinking of these as shape families, and that these are kind of the core elements that shapes get made from, or that you could make shapes from,
Some
right?
of those don't even look like shapes. Some of those look like letters. like there's a C
Mhm.
and
A s-
almost a O
All right,
and an M.
keep that. Let's go back through these. What are these shapes up here? She calls this the circle and dot family. That's a hint. What?
They're round shapes.
These are the round. These are round shapes. So you've got circles and dots, right? Circles are open, dots are closed. You've got what is this kind of shape here?
Ovals.
That's like a stretched out circle, an oval or an ellipse. What is this thing?
Kidneys. A kidney.
It's like a kidney bean.
Or
This happens a lot in
Or
nature,
just a kidney.
right?
or like a little pinto bean.
Like a little pinto bean. It's a very
kidney.
organic shape. It's
And
got a
like the bunny.
bump, right?
It looks like a little. It looks like a little sleeping mat.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you something.
Looks a bit like two hands put together. Or
It does?
you can make your hands kind of do that. And I'm trying to think of what I can make look like that. Beans and rocks and things look that way.
This.
All right, what are these shapes?
Like lines.
Lines. So these are straight lines.
Well, that
This is
big
a-
one's not a straight line.
What's this one? This is a thin line, and this is a thick line. I might think of this as a rectangle, but it's kind of a thick line. What around here do you find that's a thick line like this?
trees?
A tree. That's the obvious one that comes to my mind every time.
And these look like a mountain.
What's a thin line around here?
A stick.
A stick?
Tree branches that hold the leaves.
What about the dark shadow edge of these things? You can think of those things as thin lines too. Edges between things.
Look, this looks like
Look.
a mountain together.
We'll get there.
And
What are these kind of lines? Are they straight lines? They're curves, right? They're curves. We see lots
like
of
a
curves.
C.
Like a C. This one's very much like a C.
And the other one's kind of like a O.
So this is like what we're showing with this one is that there's some curves that like almost close. There are sometimes you'll find curves that are paired in nature that are like all the petals of a flower.
Look, this
It is starting to rain. There's spirals, and these are angles. So what I was going to challenge is some of us may want to go find shapes.
I already found one.
So here's our challenge. I've got people antsy. some of us may want to go find shapes in nature. And if you want to sketch them in your sketchbook, you may. I need this. You're drawing on my sketchbook. My suggestion, you could do it this way as a scavenger hunt. That you could put circles and curves, things that are circles and curves on one side, and things that are straight lines and angles on the other side, or examples that you see. So if you saw those orange cones, they might go over here. And if you saw some curvy rocks and flowers,